I'm not telling you a story. First thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. You can call the Oracle, the talking to you. Welcome to the call. Alright, so if I can bang out the rest of this and be done with this very excellent resource from the Lowen Company, the Lowen Witch's Guidebook 2023. Alright, Energy Amplifier Candle Dressing. This candle dressing is a recipe can be used for amplify the power of any spell or ritual, any mantra or culpa. Based on the mixture of herbs with lively energy, it will stir up with extra magical impact and speed with the results of your working. The herbs are chosen for their association with snappy, quick energy. The key ingredient is ashes from a piece of paper bearing your name. Write your name on a small slip of paper and carefully burn it in a heat-proof dish. Gather the ashes after they have cooled and include them in the dry ingredients. For anointing, you will need 1 drop of cinnamon oil. For dry ingredients, 1/2 dried crushed ginger root, 3 saffron sprigs, 1 dried saffragan flower in your favorite color, 1 pinch powdered tarragon, and the ashes. You can mix the dry ingredients ahead of time and keep them in a stored and sealed jar in a cool, dark place. To keep their energy strong, consider adding quartz crystal to the jar. All right, so that's the last of these from in here. Now, things that also make this an incredibly resource. It has an appendix, daily magical influences, Monday moon, peace, healing, carrying psychic awareness. Tuesday Mars, passion, courage, aggression, protection. Wednesday Mercury, sight, travel, divination, wisdom. Thursday Jupiter, expansion, money, prosperity, generosity. Friday Venus, love, friendship, reconciliation, beauty. Saturday Saturn, longevity and endings, home. Sunday Sun, healing, spirituality, success, and protection. Has color correspondences. Monday, gray, lavender, white, silver, ivory. Tuesday, red, white, black, gray, maroon, scarlet. Wednesday, yellow, brown, white, topaz. Thursday, green, turquoise, white, purple, crimson. Friday, white, pink, rose, purple, coral. Saturday, brown, gray, blue, indigo, black. Sunday, yellow, orange, gold, or amber. Lunar phases, waxing from new moon to waxing is ideal time to do match to draw things to you. Waning from full moon to new moon is time for study, meditation, and magical work designed to banish harmful energies. Let's see. Gemstones, herbs. Has things for chakras. Chakra, root chakra, activate with red, balance with black. Associated with comfort and grounding, security and support. Sacral chakra, so activate with orange, balance with brown. Actually, that's very handy. Associated with creativity, desire, freedom, and passion. Solar plexus chakra, activate with yellow, balance with brown. Associated with confidence, power, transformation, and willpower. Heart chakra, activate with green, balance with pink, rose. Associated with beauty, compassion, healing, love, and mindfulness. Throat chakra, activate with blue, balance with turquoise. Associated with communication, inspiration, release, and truth. Forehead chakra, activate with indigo. Balance with white, associated with clarity, illumination, intuition, vision, and wisdom. Crown chakra, activate with violet or purple. Balance with gold or white, associated with consciousness, cosmic energy, enlightenment, knowledge, and spirituality. And I finish this off with The Skeptical Witch by Thorne Moody. It blows a lot of people's minds when I tell them that I don't particularly believe in astrology or ghosts or crystal healing, or actually lots of things that so many assume witches believe in. Because there's so much overlap between our various communities, movements, and traditions, and because we all tend to be more open-minded and curious than average, there's a sort of innate assumption that we're being a witch means holding particular perspectives. But the truth is that we're all really different. We believe different things about deities, afterlives, how magic works, other worlds, energy, and the various systems and tools available to us. That's because just because you're a witch doesn't mean you have to believe the same thing other witches do. Ooh, Curdy don't have to have to agree with every single other Curdy. How about that? When I was a new witcher, my skeptical nature felt like something like a negative, an impediment to growing as a practitioner, or even evidence that I didn't really belong. Everyone I met in magical spaces seemed to have such an easy time taking seriously everything touted as fact in magical books, and they all spoke with such assuredness, whether about energy healing or Atlantis, spellcasting or shadow work. Meanwhile, I felt like I needed evidence or at least time and experience to make up my own mind. Though it still feels kind of like a secret. Over the years, I've discovered that lots of witches are skeptics. More than that, skepticism is actually an asset to growing as a witch, and not an impediment at all. Sendeha. That's actually really important in making things work properly, because some things aren't supposed to work. There's not. It would be like actually bad if they worked. Like it'd be a neat idea until it actually started happening, and that would be bad. Like I used to have a serious thing where I kind of wished when I used to be running a Circle K that the idiots that parked in the freaking fire lane would just have their car catch on fire. Why? You shouldn't be parking in the fire lane, dingbat. You consider it, but like, it'd be funny the first time it happened, except not. Because the manager would have to deal with the fact that it was spontaneous combustion of a vehicle had parked inside the place I was running, but like, still. When you consciously adopt a skeptical mindset, you also hone your sense of discernment, which in turn builds up confidence in your own personal authority. It also enables you to feel with more conviction about those things that you do believe in. It's important to understand that being a skeptic doesn't mean that you're being negative or dismissive. It assumes that you're automatic. It means that you automatically assume something. It doesn't mean that you automatically assume something is fake, foolish, or wrong. That's how the term sometimes gets used in popular discourse. But in practice, it's much more like being an explorer or scientist. Rather than simply accepting what someone else says without question, the skeptic goes and finds out for themselves. Depending on what you were investigating, that could be, conducting experiments or keeping track of results over time, or researching the first-hand accounts of other people whose work you find trustworthy. Unlike a naysayer or a non-believer, the skeptic is necessarily open to being convinced. They just need evidence and aren't afraid to ask questions. Empiricism. Empiricism is the perspective that knowledge is rooted in direct sensory experience, and that's the basis for scientific method. It's not enough, in other words, to hypothesize about or intuit information. You need to observe and test. Witchcraft isn't a science, but it can be useful to adopt an empirical approach nonetheless. That's what we're doing every time to test out a new magical technique, after all. It's rarely enough to try a spell or ritual out or a book off a website as is and ensure a perfect outcome. Most things will take tinkering, modifying small things to suit the individual circumstances, and may also take more than one try to get right. In the same time, that may take you changes to a recipe, swapping ingredients or other proportions until you find something that was perfect for you. Magic needs to be shaped by both the user and the environment. Magical systems, philosophies, and religious worldviews are subject to this kind of reflective experimental consideration. Good ones will foster questions and stand up under scrutiny. Here's an example of what I mean. Imagine that I were to tell you that spells for money and prosperity were more effective when worked on Thursdays. In fact, lots of witches will tell you that. I'm not just making that up. You can read that tidbit in just most any spell book you might find on the shelves today. This generally accepted wisdom is that Thursdays are ruled by divine Jupiter, which associate astrology with luck, expansion, and wealth, and those are the most auspicious days for magic pertaining to money. Would you accept that common wisdom as truth without doing a bit of experimenting or research? Maybe, especially if you were already versed in Western astrology. If you'd grown up reading newspaper horoscopes, already knew something about your own natal chart, or prone to consider someone else's sign when getting to know someone, then it probably wouldn't be much of a leap to use astrology in your spell work. But what if you didn't do those sort of things? What if you grew up using a completely different system? It's not like there's only one, or if you had no familiarity with the kind of astrology worldview or tradition. In that case, adopting a skeptical position would allow you to investigate such a claim for yourself. You might dive deep into astrology, discuss its use in magic with other practitioners, and collect testimonies from other people. A more satisfying and potentially convincing strategy would be to conduct your own magical experiments. Perhaps over time you could work multiple spells for money, some on some on Thursday, some on other days. You might research planetary hours to further augment your work, casting your spell not just on Thursday, but on Thursday during the hour of Jupiter. Each time, collect your details and working out how well the results in Notebook. Yeah, they're talking about being very, very scientific in their practice. Did the spell work? How well? Did it work? And if so, how well? How long did it take? Eventually, would you take a lot of data and could collect some conclusions of the efficacy on Thursdays? And in case you were curious, even though I'm skeptical about a lot of things related to astrology, I found that astrological timing makes my spells more effective. Autonomy. One of the most empowering things about being a witch is your autonomy. That is being able to do stuff aside from, maybe working with the consensus, the Samyoga, but mostly just working by yourself. One of the most empowering things about being a witch is your autonomy. There's no singular spiritual authority sitting on a high wall telling us how to think, what to believe, and how to practice. Even with established traditions, individual witches are still responsible for their own development and must take ownership of their own actions. Gotta own your karma. No joke. None of us are followers, and that goes for with our own communities, not just in mundane spaces. Just because it seems like most witches believe in the same things doesn't mean you have to. It's normal to have doubts and healthy to have questions. If you're feeling skeptical about a claim someone is making, it's perfectly reasonable to inquire further. Even if someone else in the room is silent, there's a good chance that you're not the only one having doubts. When possible, investigate for yourself. Keep detailed records of your magical experiments. Over time, you'll be able to draw more definitive conclusions about what works for you and what doesn't hold up. Stay open-minded, and allow yourself to have new experiences in unfamiliar territory. Try things, research, listen to new experiences from other witches, and give new concepts and techniques a fair shake before discounting them. Taking an empirical approach will allow you to deepen and expand your practice with confidence and conviction, and you won't rely on hearsay, someone else's personal losses, or things you read in books or see on the internet that you don't sound altogether convinced that to you don't sound altogether convincing. Skepticism isn't just perspective; it's also a tool. When we actively cultivate it, we develop our own autonomy and strengthen our work as witches. This is Oracle. Dream safely, everyone, and stay skeptical.